Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Bernie here, giving you another video here on the Charge, giving the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. And as you guys can tell, there probably will not be a live stream this week, just due to the fact that I will be out in North Carolina. So I decided to give you guys 4 different videos to talk about for this coming week. We, of course, have a couple things to talk about. We have the Ben Simmons news. Again, we know this channel talks about Ben Simmons all the time, but there's just some new breaking stuff and more insider information from Shams and The Athletic, which I have up here on the article. And then we also have to talk about the evaluations of NBA teams and what this could mean for the NBA in terms of expansion teams. Vegas, Seattle, a lot of new teams could be popping up in the next coming couple of years. And then, of course, we have people thinking, will Steve Nash be fired? That's the biggest question mark going into the aftermath of the Brooklyn Nets is, will Steve Nash be the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets moving forward? And then we also have one little small story that I think, a lot of people might not pay attention to, but I think that this could be a huge deal. And that is, of course, Ricky Rubio likely to return to the Cavaliers. I thought he was a perfect fit on this team. And we'll talk about that later on as you continue to watch throughout this whole thing. So please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Remember, the more likes, the more subscribers, the more this channel can grow and other stuff like that. So without further ado, let us look at inside the Ben Simmons Nets saga. So this, of course, is the big question mark when it came to our series. We know that Ben Simmons was projected to play around March time. We all know that he has dealt with a lot of stuff. When it comes to the mental health stuff, I would say that I could see that being a little more likely case, but at the same time, I've already voiced out my frustration with the way that everything was handled from his perspective. And again, at the end of the day, it is the demons that he created, and this is what you reap what you sow, right? And so this to me is what happened here for Ben Simmons. But nevertheless, let's go on to read just a little bit of the article, because I know that the Athletic gets a little weird when you read their articles or show them full out. So the only thing I kind of want to mention here in this article is more so that this part right here. So we'll read from here. So with the Nets facing elimination on Monday in Game 4 against the Celtics, Simmons pulled himself from his expected season debut, with the source saying that he informed team officials on Sunday that his back felt sore. Everyone in the Nets organization had given the impression that Simmons had zeroed in Monday's game as his debut date, and the franchise was certainly left searching for answers because of his inability to step on the floor and what transpired in the first round. Sunday's events triggered frustration and disheartenment throughout the organization, multiple sources said. The fallout of Simmons being ruled out on Sunday led to a meeting among franchise officials, Simmons, and his agent, Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul, on Monday in Brooklyn. According to sources, Simmons told those in the room that there's a mental block that exists for him dating to parts of last summer's postseason, which creates a lot of stress that could serve as a trigger point for his back issues. He added that he does not want to play he does want to play basketball and play for the Nets as he works on a solution in regards to his well-being. The Nets officials informed Simmons that the franchise is willing to do whatever it needs to support him and provide him with any necessary resources. Brooklyn needed the 25-year-old on the court this season, but now both sides have entered the offseason to work through this situation and to find a way to prove himself on the court again. Both sides are expected to stay in communication and continue to work towards Simmons, who has 3 years, 414 remaining on his contract, feeling ready to play again. And you guys already know how I feel about Ben Simmons. I feel like the scouting reports kind of told it all. This is my thing with Ben Simmons. I think that he is a very talented player. He consistently stayed the same player throughout his whole career so far. A great defender. We'll occasionally have those games where he'll explode for 40-something points like he did against Utah. And, you'll see the Ben Simmons where, he does make a factor. He does, make a difference, especially in the fast break. You can see him kind of handling the ball, being able to dish it out to his teammates. It looks beautiful when he's in the open court. And I think Jared Dudley kind of made a comment saying that he's really more of a full court rather than a half court type of player. And I agree with that to some extent, because if Ben Simmons is not being used in the full court or on defense, more likely than not, he's going to be placed on the X, aka I would say right next to the block. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. But on the court, he's right next to the bottom half of the free throw, or the bottom half of the paint. So that is kind of what's going on here. And so when it comes to this story, guys, and you have to know something here, and I'll scroll up just in case the Athletic gets weird about it and have this picture of Ben Simmons. I think it's very possible that Ben Simmons is mentally has some mental health issues, and you can clearly see that there is something there. Again, I the only reason why I cautioned it at the beginning is because, I think he's used every excuse in the book not to play for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think it was just a bad environment for him, especially after what happened in the postseason, and we clearly see it. Like, Ben Simmons had a bad experience in the postseason, did not like the way that the fans treated him, and, he kind of reacted the way that he did. My issue, though, with it is the fact that that the 76ers, I believe, offered everything to make him happy, to make him want to play for the organization again. And that to me is where my frustration lies with Ben Simmons more so than anything else. Because, like I said, I think Ben Simmons is a great player. I don't doubt that he has greatness. I don't doubt that he has excellence. The only thing I doubt at times is the work ethic to get better. I feel like there's times where Ben Simmons is trying to use the injuries as an excuse as to why he can't get better. And you know what? That might be cynical of me. That might be rude of me. But at the end of the day, I think Ben Simmons has all the tools and talent to be that guy. To be, or maybe not the guy, but at least to be a key contributor on a team. I mean, he should have been able to take over that game against the Atlanta Hawks last season. I think that was probably the 76ers' best chance to maybe go out and get a title the way that the Bucks did last year. And maybe that should have been the Philadelphia 76ers. But at the end of the day, we know that Ben Simmons, the mentality of Ben Simmons is more so like this. He's a guy that if you challenge him, if you give him any critiques, he's not going to listen. And I think everybody, whether you're a fan, whether you're a coach working with him, or whether you're just, Instagram coach or Instagram ref, we all know that Ben Simmons had to work on his jump shot. We all know that he had to work on some sort of pull-up game, some sort of ability to shoot the ball, because they're not gonna guard you. They're gonna stay way off of you. We've seen that many times and time again. And I think the biggest thing for me and what frustrates me is that the 76ers, and to go to a different point, the 76ers offered this kid and offered Ben Simmons more. I think he's a man now, right? 25. Yeah, you're a man now. I think once you get to that like 23, 24, maybe I can consider you a kid. But now you're a man, right? You have to accept the help because everybody needs it. I don't care if you are a celebrity. I don't care if you're just an everyday Joe Schmo. Everybody needs help. And sports is no different. Sports, I feel like maybe the most because of the way that you're scrutinized, the way that you are critiqued. I mean, I'm doing it right now, right? Like, social media has done this to all these kids and done to all these players, is that they really don't have, I would say, a place to not be criticized, not be judged. I feel like Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, more so Instagram and Twitter, and TikTok as well, create this environment to where you are always under the microscope. And I feel like having a sports psychologist, Russell Wilson has one. I believe all the greats have someone. I think LeBron James might even have. I mean, he has the Calm brand that he, uses for mental health, for meditation, which he needs, because you can clearly see that does help him deal with guys like Skip Bayless, who continuously be on his neck about LeChoke or Lagon and all these other jokes, right? Just these type of things, and kind of cringeworthy at times. Some of them can be funny, but for most of the time it's cringe. He does that stuff so he can be in the right headspace, and that's what Ben Simmons needs to do. And the frustration for me is that Ben Simmons is going to go and do this grievance situation with the 76ers, saying, "Hey, I'm dealing with injuries, I'm dealing with mental health. How can you, find me or do all this stuff?" The reason why, Ben Simmons, is because they offered you the help. They said, "Hey, go see our sports psychologists, go see our doctors, so that way we know, like, okay, this guy's committed." But the problem is that you showed that you were not committed. You're out with your girlfriend. I've seen photos and videos. You're playing Warzone. Hey, I play Warzone too. I'm not going to be out here saying that I didn't watch or I don't play Warzone either. But at the same time, I really need Ben Simmons to understand that, there's stuff where it's your amateur and your passion, and then there's stuff that is your job. And, the 76ers not paying you to hang out with your girlfriend or to play Warzone or, start your Twitch account. Like, they'll support you. They'll obviously enhance it, and I think that they do a good job. I think the NBA does a pretty good job of that, giving the players the platform to give themselves the opportunity to make money. I think they do it a lot better than, I would say, the NFL. for that case. But at the same time, this is what gets me kind of going with Ben Simmons is that you need to accept the help, and these organizations are now giving you that help, and I hope that you do take it because I think he does need it. You can clearly see that not taking that layup or taking that dunk really affected Ben Simmons mentally because we can see that he's not ready to go. We can see that he's clearly just not in the right headspace. Like I want to make sure if I'm the Brooklyn Nets that I'm making sure I'm checking in with him every day and making sure that he goes sees a sports psychologist every day to kind of figure out what the situation was. I mean, we had Markelle Fultz have the same situation. Royce White had that same situation back at Iowa State. Markelle Fultz I'll talk a little bit more about because I always talk about the Royce White situation. But in terms of the Markelle Fultz, clearly it was a mental thing for him for shooting rather than a physical thing. Like, yes, you can have impingement, and it's weird that it's happened to 76ers, 2 players that have joined their organization. So I think we may have to take a look in the Philadelphia 76ers like organization and making sure that they're doing everything properly. Not saying that they're doing anything nefarious, but it's weird that it's 2 players now that have had mental health issues for your team. So I just want to make sure that everything's fine there. So maybe that's something to take a look at as to why that is and why those 2 players specifically probably have one of the, I would say, the most interesting kind of storyline as it comes to mental health coming from the 76ers organization. And the Nets have to now start taking a look at themselves and trying to figure out, like, what is the next step for us? What do we need to do in order to give ourselves the best opportunity to win a championship next year? Kyrie Irving needs to re-sign. I think Kevin Durant, I'm not sure what his contract situation is. I'm sure he either has a year left or this might be his final year. So they need to figure out what they're going to do. They need to figure out, are we going to keep this trio? Can we win with this trio? And we'll talk about the Steve Nash story a little bit later in a different video. But, is Steve Nash the right coach? That's another question. Like I said, we're going to talk about it in a later video. They got to start thinking about it. So with that being said, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys make of this whole situation with Ben Simmons? Are you surprised? Are you interested in kind of the saga? If you're a team that's looking for a trade, would you trade for Ben Simmons? Would you want him on your team? Let me know in the comment section down below. And again, guys, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Again, hoping Ben Simmons the best of luck. I'm hoping that he can take that help because you can't do this alone. And I don't care what anyone says. You have to have a group of people. You have to talk to somebody, especially when it comes to this stuff. You can't just leave it to nobody. You can't be by yourself. You have to get help. You have to be able to talk to somebody. So if you guys are dealing with that stuff, make sure you guys get the help you need as well. And let me know in the comment section down below, what is the next move for Ben Simmons? Please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace out, everybody.